Hacksaw Battle of Champions. To Caesars Palace here in Las Vegas, Nevada. To say that it has been hot today is to make a great understatement. Temperatures all day long in the area of 100 degrees, and when we were up here last night there was a pretty good breeze, and we thought, well, that might affect play. Right now, no breeze. Temperatures have dropped to a balmy 88 degrees. Actually, right now, just about perfect weather conditions. Crowds starting to filter in, and of course, at any event like this, it is a celebrity-laden crowd. Is it a spectacle? Yes, it's a spectacle. I've been around an awful lot of championship fights, and that's really what this atmosphere is all about. It is electric. Everybody buzzing around the hotel lobby. Is it entertainment? Yes, it's entertainment. I think as many of the 14,000 people who come here to applaud also will come here to get a few laughs out of all of this. Is it the Battle of the Sexes Part 2? Not really. I don't really think that either one of these players has anything to prove in that area. Each has his or her place in history very well secured. What this is really all about is money. A whole lot of money. In just about an hour and a half, the winner of this match will leave with about $500,000 plus another six-figure salary just for showing up. Let me put this whole thing into perspective for you if I can. Back in 1973, when Billie Jean King played Bobby Riggs in that match back in the Astrodome, the first Battle of the Sexes, she won 19 tournaments that year. Not played 19 tournaments, won 19 tournaments. For total earnings, $117,000. I don't care what side of the fence you sit on tonight, the men's side, the women's side. There's an old adage in the sport of tennis. You've come a long way, baby. Well, you come to an event like this and you want to know about it, you go to the man who wrote the book. And we have the man who wrote the book. I speak, of course, of Bobby Riggs. And Bobby, this is no ordinary tennis match tonight.
You're sure right about that, Barry. We have two great champions going to do battle tonight. Jimmy Connors has won more men tournaments than anyone else in history. Martina has done the same thing for women. I think there's a lot at stake here. Lots of honor, lots of glory, because Jimmy wants to win this one because he wants to prove that men are superior to women, and he's given her a handicap, and he's going to go out there and prove it. Martina wants to win because she doesn't want to give back to the game of tennis what Billie Jean gained for all the women when she beat me 20 years ago. So we're waiting now to see a great battle, and I think it is going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I can't wait for him to get started.
And you're not biased, are you?
Not a bit.
He's not biased. Women wouldn't be voting if he had his way. Also joining us, my partner on ESPN. You see her all the time, Betsy Nagelson, here for expert commentary. Betsy, you've been around this scene, around Caesars Palace for the last several days. It is a spectacle. Who do you feel is handling this spectacle better?
Well, it is a spectacle, Barry. It's a prize fight atmosphere, and Jimmy Connors loves that. He thrives on that. It's a show. That's what this is, and he's perfectly at home in this setting. Martina, a large underdog, but Barry, she plays her best when she's not supposed to win. I've seen her pull out her best tennis when the odds have been stacked against her. People have written her off, winning Wimbledon 2 years ago. Her record 9th title at age 33 when the pressure was at its greatest, beating Monica Seles just a couple of weeks ago, the #1 player in the world, beating Steffi Graf on the way to the U.S. Open final last year. She's got her work cut out for her, but hopefully she can have fun with it. But I think the main thing, Barry, is the fact that this match will take tennis into living rooms throughout the world that will never see tennis otherwise, covered by magazines and newspapers that don't cover tennis. And I think no matter what happens, the big winner tonight stands to be the sport of tennis.
Coming up next, Martina Navratilova and Jimmy Connors at Caesars Palace.
The Battle of Champions, Jimmy Connors versus Martina Navratilova, on Prime Network, is brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Madame, Monsieur, bonsoir. Avec Martina Navratilova, vous pénétrez sur le court central du Caesars Palace, qui est habituellement l'antre de la boxe et qui est aujourd'hui le théâtre d'un autre combat, une véritable bataille, la bataille des champions, qui est aussi la bataille des sexes, avec Martina Navratilova, 36 ans, le 18 octobre prochain, qui est numéro 4 mondial, et Jimmy Connors, 40 ans, vous l'avez vécu peut-être à Flushing Meadow, numéro 62 en ce moment à l'ATP, bataille donc des sexes, parce que est en jeu bien sûr beaucoup d'argent, on va en reparler, mais aussi une suprématie qui attise les passions ici aux États-Unis. Ce n'est pas la première fois qu'une femme est opposée à un homme. Souvenez-vous, il y a 19 ans, Bobby Riggs avait été battu par Billie Jean King. Bobby Riggs, qui à l'époque avait 55 ans, pensait pouvoir battre Billie Jean King à 29 ans. Et en fait, il avait été défait en 3 sets secs, 6-4, 6-3, 6-3. Aujourd'hui, c'est une sorte de revanche. Jimmy Connors, vous le voyez rentrer sur le court avec son coach, car les deux adversaires ont droit à un coach aujourd'hui. Vous avez bien sûr reconnu Vitax Gerelitis. Jimmy Connors, que l'on a vu assez confiant tout à l'heure au vestiaire, et ce geste qui lui est favori depuis cette demi-finale et cet excellent parcours à l'US Open en 91 où il avait époustouflé tout le monde. Alors pourquoi Connors face à Navratilova? Tout d'abord parce que ce sont les deux champions qui représentent ce qu'a été le tennis depuis 3 décennies. Ces deux joueurs ont survolé le tennis depuis 20 ans. Jimmy Connors a remporté exactement 8 tournois du Grand Chelem. Martina Navratilova en a remporté 18. C'est donc une bataille au plus haut niveau que l'on va vivre ce soir. Alors une bataille un petit peu différente de ce que vous avez l'habitude de suivre en tennis, puisque les règles, vous le savez peut-être, sont différentes. Elles sont les suivantes. Jimmy Connors a le droit à une balle de service simplement, et il devra jouer dans un terrain qui est un petit peu plus grand qu'un terrain de simple, puisqu'il est augmenté d'un couloir de double qui est réparti de chaque côté du terrain de simple, et qui font 68 cm et demi chacun. Le couloir de double mesure 1,37 m. C'est une arme dont va essayer de profiter Martina Navratilova. Un match qui va se dérouler, alors que là vous découvrirez celui qui d'habitude officie sur les matchs de boxe, Michael Buffer.
From Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the greatest male player in tennis history, the man known as the Comeback Kid, Mr. Jimmy Connors. A woman with stunning tennis credentials, including 31 Grand Slam finals, an unprecedented 18 Grand Slam championships. Her career winnings of over $17 million makes her the most accomplished women's player in tennis history. She's a 7-time Player of the Year. She's the 1980s Player of the Decade and considered by many to be the greatest woman athlete of the 20th century. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the most dominant player in the history of women's tennis, Martina.
And the man who will spin the racket will be a very familiar face. Apparently it is going to be a coin toss instead of a racket spin. Joe Namath.
Yeah, this is great.
See you. Before we toss, just a few questions. Do you have any questions at all? At all about how we're going to play?
Connors is captain.
3 tie-break sets.
Connors calling.
And you know the situation on the lines. And we're
people calling the lines know the situation.
People calling the lines know the situation on the lines. And if there's any questions at all, look to me, and I'll have to make that ruling. By the time you look at me, I'll either call the ball good or I will have overruled at that point. Okay? Anything else?
I wasn't ready.
This is tails. This is heads. I'd like to ask Martina to call. What's your tails?
Let it drop.
Flip it up in the air, please.
Let it drop.
Please call heads.
Let it hit the ground.
Okay.
Don't have to catch it, you know. All right, are you ready? You're going to go.
Tails.
It's heads.
Ahead.
Ahead? I might well...
Jim wins the toss.
You know what? I think I'll let the lady choose.
That's really
He's allowed to do that.
I'll let the lady choose.
All right, in that case, I will receive.
Jim will allow the lady to.
So Jimmy Connors has deferred the toss. But we'll see.
He gave her the choice, I think, Barry. What a gentleman, huh?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So this period of warming up here, and all the preliminaries are now behind us, and what's left is to get on with this. You can look at the Grand Slam titles. The credentials of both of these players are simply impeccable, and as we said at the very beginning of this program, nobody has to worry about their place in history. This has nothing to do with any of that.
Absolutely not, and this is a tribute to two great champions who have accomplished an amazing amount in both of their careers. And as Martina said, I mean, she's got a 20-year history to fall back on. The same with Jimmy Connors. And as you said, Barry, it's perfectly secure. That's not at all what this match is about.
What it is about is that it's drawn 14,000 people here, and how many hundreds of thousands of people who have paid pretty good money to watch this at home. So needless to say, there's a great interest in all of this.
No question about it, but you can't minimize the match, because the winner, from the men's point of view, is going to get a big lift if Connors wins. I think from the women's point of view, given her the handicap she's getting, if Jimmy beats her, it's not going to make too many women too happy. So there's pressure on both of them. They both have big egos. They both have big pressure. They want to win. It isn't just for fun. Money, of course, but there's honor and glory.
All right, back to the court now, and Jim Hill. Jimmy?
Barry, thank you very much. With me is Billie Jean King, and you've been helping Martina, and you know about this kind of match. What did you tell her? What advice did you give her?
I think it's different than 20 years ago, thank goodness. I think we just talked about her really enjoying the occasion, being a part of it instead of worrying about it. Actually, I talked to Jimmy as well, and it's just really important to get in it and be a part of it. And enjoy Las Vegas, enjoy everything that goes with it, the spectacle, all the great other celebrities are here, that you may get booed. Anything can happen. I think one thing that she's had to get used to is this new handicap, and of course Jimmy's had to think about it too. He only gets one serve. Martina has more space to hit into. I don't know if it's going to make that big a difference though, because Jimmy's really known for his great return serve. So it's really vital if Martina's going to have an opportunity to beat Jimmy's, to really get a lot of first serves in, to be appropriately aggressive, not go to net on every single one, but to keep him honest and keep him guessing. And, you know, Jimmy's going to be nervous, too. I think a lot of people think women are the nervous ones. And I know our culture always teaches us that. But he's going to be nervous. She's going to be nervous. You know, I don't think they know what to expect. They've never played each other. They're both left-handed. I think you have to take that into consideration. So the main thing is to really get into the environment and go with it and not try to go against it.
Billy, thank you so much. Any words you have for Bobby Riggs, who's upstairs, who you beat 20 years ago?
Well, Bobby, I'm glad we're still living, and I'm just happy he's there and having a good time, and he still plays every day, and he's still hustling and finding a lot of pigeons out there, and he's done great, and it's really great to see him again.
Billie Jean, thank you so much. It's always good seeing you.
Thank you.
Barry, back to you now.
All right, thanks very much, Jim. Well, I'll tell you what, Billie Jean, Bobby is not only alive, he's right next to me, and not only does he still have the pigeons, he still plucks them. You know, Bobby, we were talking a little bit earlier, and Billie Jean alluded to it too. The atmosphere of your match in 1973, a very different kind of atmosphere. That really was a carnival, and I mean that in a very positive way. But this is totally different. We've been making this an analogy to a big fight. This seems to be a little bit more of a sporting event and a little bit less of a carnival.
I agree with that, Barry. I was brought in on an Empress with 12 bosom buddies around me. She brought a pig out to give to me, a little piglet, because I was the male chauvinist pig at the time. And it really was a circus and a carnival and fun, and we had everything turned on. It was a fantastic, spectacular thing. This is more of a world championship fight.
All right, once more, down to the court and Jim Hill. Jim?
Okay, Barry, thank you very much. With me is Vitas Gerulaitis, who is coaching Jimmy Connors tonight, and that in itself says a heck of a lot for you.
Well, there's not a whole lot you have to do with Jimmy other than support him, and the only thing today is he's just got to take his time. He gets all pumped up, you know, he plays so well in front of big crowds, and, you know, there's a lot at stake in this match, you know, a lot of pride, especially from the men's side, you know.
I was just talking to Billie Jean, and she says that she thinks that Jimmy might be a little nervous himself, besides Martina.
The guy's one of the best big money, tight match players. He just had his 40th birthday at the U.S. Open. They waited for 3 days in front of 30,000 people. So if he didn't get tight that day and beat a great player, I mean, I'm sure he's got a little butterflies, but I mean, he's going to come out ripping.
Early strategy for him?
He's going to get a lot of balls back into play, just feel his way into the match. Martina's going to have to work. That's all I can tell you.
Vitas, thank you very much, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, match rules. Connors gets one serve only. Martina gets one half of the doubles alley, so she gets a couple of extra feet of each doubles alley. It sounds like a big handicap, but you know, she's not used to it. It's really hard to just all of a sudden, after 18 years of professional playing within a certain limited space, now to increase that a couple of feet on either side. It's not easy to do.
This is all they're playing for, $500,000, and of course each player also gets a guaranteed appearance fee. Don't you wish there was this kind of money, Bobby, around when you were playing?
Absolutely not. When I won the World Championship singles and doubles, I got $2,000.
I remember Whitney Reed telling me that he won a stereo when he won the Canadian Open, and he lost it that night in a pool game. So we are set to get on with it then, after all. And Jimmy Connors will, in fact, serve, as Martina Navratilova said. No,
Jimmy Connors
serve.
serve.
I have the choice. I'm going to let you serve. So Jimmy Connors,
Ready.
one serve, remember.
Play.
Billie Jean King advocating that Martina jump right onto the service line. She hasn't done that.
Yeah. Martina made a good play. You know, just sort of physically, emotionally, mentally out here to let Jimmy serve first. That oftentimes gives the receiver just a little time to get into the match, get rid of some of the nerves. Both players are feeling some nerves. Obviously, they have to be. They're human.
First point to Martina Navratilova. I think it really is important for Martina to get an early service break if she's really going to have a legitimate chance here. Hear a lot of women's voices in there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Martina's got an awfully good chance when Jimmy is serving. He's got to be extra careful. He's got to get this serve in.
It's the first time Martina tried to come in. And I thought it was interesting. Vitas Garolaitis said that Jimmy Connors is just going to keep balls in play, and that's exactly what Martina Navratilova's doing.
So we really went for that one alley that time, which is yards wide. Be interesting to see how she uses that extra space.
15:30 early in this match. That's a big point. And there's the first time that extra alley has come into play, and it gives Martina 2 break points in the first game.
This is a perfect example of this extra space. The ball gets behind Martina. She's late. And, you know, in a normal match, this is wide by 3 feet, 2 feet. And now it's landing in. So she's got 2 break points in this opening game.
Great serve. That was a good quick serve by Jimmy Connors.
You could see it jump.
That was one of the big worries that Martina had, because most women don't really serve with an exceptional amount of kick on their second serves. Jimmy has a lot of action on his second serve, so Martina was a little concerned about how she'd react to that.
Still a break point for Martina Navratilova. You saw her talking to herself. Service break in the first game for Martina Navratilova. Jimmy Connors doing a couple of shots there. He's just trying to do different things, and so far, Martina's had all the answers. Now it's Jimmy Connors early in this match in a situation of having to play a little catch-up. It's nothing that's that serious, but I think what it does really is it settles Martina into this match.
Yeah, I think it sets a great tone for the entire match. I mean, for the crowd, Martina can now, you know, just breathe that little extra sigh of relief. I think having someone on the court with her is an immense help. Just someone to talk to. I mean, that helps an awful lot.
Let's consider one other thing here as Martina Navratilova goes out to serve Jimmy Connors, and that is, until the last couple of years, Jimmy Connors' return of serve was considered to be the best in the game.
trying to get the attention of the ball boy.
That's the thing about this. The whole atmosphere is different. There's nothing that you can just rely on rote.
The thing Jimmy has said yesterday, the last couple days, he's really made a big point of the fact that it's going to be awfully hard for Martina to hold her serve consistently because, number one, he has a great return of serve, probably the best in men's tennis, if not the second best to an Andre Agassi. But also, Martina's serve is lacking a little bit of the pace that we've seen from her in the past.
That was out. That's exactly what Billie Jean told us yesterday too, when we had this same conversation of what does Martina need to do to win this match, and she said just got to serve terrific. Interesting too that the linesmen have a bit of a problem here. It's very unusual for them to call it one way when one person is serving and another way when the other person is serving. That one was wide.
You're right, Barry. And that was one of the things I got a chance to sort of ask Don Wiley, sitting up in the chair. The Lions people, he says, are extremely experienced. They've all come from the U.S. Open. They've called 1,000 matches, important matches, and he was quite sure that there'd be no problems in terms of line calling.
So 2 points to hold now for Martina Navratilova for a 2-love lead.
Move the mic to the other side of it.
No first serves yet for Martina.
Double fault.
30-30.
First double fault, of course, for Martina Navratilova, but she's been a little erratic in this first service game. Still a point to hold.
Terrific rally, great shot by both players, and finally the put away by Jimmy Connors.
It was that quickness that Jimmy has.
Yeah, the best point of the match right here. Martina gets in, puts the volley too much in the middle of the court. Jimmy gets a great angle. Martina makes a good half volley. The foot speed of Connors there. You see how low he is when he runs forward, racket out in front. Tremendous control. So he saved a couple of game points. He's back to deuce. That serve right there, Barry, you know, Jimmy's not used to playing a lot of left-handers and not used to facing Martina's serve, obviously. That serve jammed Jimmy, and that's going to be a real good serve for Martina to use. If she can try to swing it into his body.
That's wide, and so Martina Navratilova is held for 2-love. In the first set here in Las Vegas. Exactly the kind of start I would have to feel, Betsy, that Martina wanted.
No, I don't think she could ask for an absolute better way to get into this thing. She's obviously, her heart rate's now dropped masses, and she can begin to, as Billie Jean King said, get involved, get into this, really get into the moment, and get excited about being in this position.
Not to mention take the crowd out of it.
Jimmy's been a little tentative so far. I think he does have butterflies. I think when Billie Jean King is a little nervous, I think she was right.
A number of unforced errors really in this match. Ball is out.
Good catch, good catch.
It takes a little getting used to kind of remember what's in and what's out for who. And
yeah, it does. So a very easy service game for Jimmy Connors. Remember, he only gets one serve, and he's had no problem with that so far in this match. So Martina Navratilova will serve 2-1 with a break in hand.
He's into skiing, obviously, and speaking of skiing, that is one of Martina's favorite sports. And in fact, it was really Dr. Stedman, who lives in Vail, out of the Stedman Hawkins Clinic, who added a couple of years to the length of Martina's career. Martina had both of her knees scoped the end of 90. She was in some trouble physically.
It's a great get by Jimmy Connors. It's one of the great tennis aficionados, Don King, sitting behind Connors.
Martina's definitely not getting enough first serves in, and that's putting an awful lot of pressure on her second serve, and it's taking her favorite play away. She's got to be able to get the first serve in to give her the freedom to come in if she wants.
She was a little tentative in coming into the net that time. That was a case of just not being able to decide quick enough.
Exactly. Martina knows that she cannot do anything but go to the net in this match. She certainly can't stay very long on the baseline with Jimmy.
It's a great shot. Just a great shot.
That's a perfect example of what I was trying to say earlier, is the fact that Martina never would have hit that ball anywhere near where this ball lands. It lands on the singles line, so this would have been good in singles, but because Martina feels safe with the extra space, she can go for the single sideline. So she said to me earlier, Barry, that she really feels it's going to help her game, and she gets back on the normal tour. And it's a really interesting mental thing. She's never gone for close to the lines, and now she says it's really proved to her that she can do that effectively.
Another thing that is worth pointing out, too, you saw her record just a moment ago on that graphic on the hard courts, 9-1 so far this year. Martina was not too happy with the courts when she first arrived here, and they actually resurfaced them yesterday, and apparently they're playing a little bit faster, and she likes that.
Yeah, they painted them again, and that really put her in a much better mood.
Great point here for Jimmy Connors, and that was a very tentative second serve.
Yeah, extremely so. Well, she's been forced to play so many second serves, and with a return of serve like what Jimmy Connors has, you know, she just can't afford that.
And that'll get her pumped up. Again, a lot of unforced errors here early in this match.
Yeah, it's what you wouldn't call it a high-quality tennis match yet, but you know, they're playing under some pretty difficult circumstances, so hopefully the level of the tennis will pick up.
Continuing to have all kinds of problems on her first serve.
Jimmy's making an awful lot of unforced errors. Look at that. He's not hitting out with his normal flow, with his normal fluency. He's playing real tight.
Both players, I think, a little bit
tense.
Martina Navratilova, only 1 of 7 points coming to the net. First serve percentage, just 47% for Martina so far. Hit that wide. So Navratilova continues to hold her own serve. Might not be pretty, but it's getting the job done so far. She still has a break in hand. You can see part of the crowd here. 14,000 on hand. So everything about this is a different feel than your average tournament, even your not average tournament. Remember the format, of course, best 2 out of 3 sets. And Jimmy Connors with his first fault, I believe. Tried to go up that extra little alley that time and took it too wide. Maybe tried to be too fine.
I think so. I think the ball's moving off Jimmy's racket. You know, it comes low, and Martina has said that actually is helpful. If she was playing against a guy with an awful lot of spin, that makes it much tougher for her as the volleyer. But I think...
Oh, that was called a fault. That was a very close call, and Jimmy didn't take anything off that serve. He was thinking ace. Billie Jean King, of course, who has been coaching or advising, perhaps the best way to put it, Martina Navratilova for the past couple of years. Again, Martina appeared to me to be a little tentative.
Right. It looks like she's second-guessing really what she's trying to do. That shot, she hesitated. She second-guessed. She knows she has to get in, and the sooner the better. And that forehand, which is not the ideal wing from Martina to approach from. It was really more comfortable coming off her backhand side. She wanted to come in.
The other thing that's interesting to me is neither one of them are trying to work the room, if you will. Jimmy Connors not playing to the crowd right now, neither is Martina. They're just playing tennis.
Jimmy Connors' hard court record 14-9. He's had a good year this year. He's played 13 tournaments.
Just a terrific get by Jimmy Connors. That's just vintage Jimmy Connors. You can still do that, can't you, buddy?
Yeah, once in 100 times.
Good movement, just great balance. Covering it. In fact, that ball would have landed inside the singles line as well.
I think it would have.
So a point to hold now for Jimmy Connors. Still a break coming in the first game of the match. Early in this match, it is not a case of who's winning it, it's who's losing it.
That's that kick off Jimmy's serve that's really moving much more than Martina's used to, and really moving much more than we can detect on TV here.
And very close to the line.
That was a great serve.
Well, there was a great kick on that serve. You could see the ball just jumped, which made Martina dive at it, and she hit it out, and Jimmy Connors holds. Still a breakdown. Martina not at all pleased with that, but I don't think there's anything she could have done about that. Let me put you in the role of coach for just a moment, Betts. What would you have just said to Martina Navratilova on that changeover?
Well, I think it's real key for Martina to just play 1 point at a time, eliminate the score, eliminate where she is, eliminate the occasion. And I think Craig and Martina is very interested in the whole mental aspect of the game right now. That's the thing that in the last couple of years she's improved immensely. Billie Jean's helped her there.
And Jimmy wanted a fault call there, and he's not going to get it.
And I also think strategically Martina's got to just get the first serve. Maybe she takes a little off it, spin it in there, and mix up coming in behind it, staying back.
Yeah, those numbers were low. You saw them a moment ago, 44%. Now she's gotten the first two in this service game.
You know, Barry, I've played an awful lot of mixed doubles, and I've played many times against Martina with our various partners. And for a man to receive a woman's serve, unless you play some mixed doubles and look at some women's serves, it is hard to return. And Jimmy's, you know, played very, very few mixed doubles in his career.
And again, that was...
She went for a big second serve.
Yeah, she did. Tried to pull him wide. Third double fault from Martina Navratilova early in this match.
Well, there's the first big return of serve. The only return of serve, really, that Jimmy's connected with and hit cleanly.
Well, he hasn't been hitting out like he usually does. He's been very tentative.
Martina missed that one pretty badly, too. Missed it by 2-3 feet. You know, it seems like the crowd is kind of just sitting back waiting for something to happen here.
Yeah, I don't think they quite know how to react to this whole thing also.
Martina had the idea and probably had the point. She just didn't hit the shot. What strikes me is that this match is just kind of sitting there waiting for somebody to grab it by the throat. And I don't see either player doing that.
Right. A break point here for Jimmy.
But again, it's more because of Martina's errors than what Jimmy has done.
Well, exactly, and Jimmy's smart. He's playing Martina's forehand. That's the side that's a little bit vulnerable for Martina in tight situations.
Martina came in that time with no hesitation. Knocked it off and takes it back to deuce.
And Jimmy didn't try to do very much with the shot. Played it safe. Played it right at the bottom of the net. That's not like the Jimmy we usually know.
Ball was out, and again, Martina coming right in behind that.
Yeah, that's probably the best, pure serve and volley point that we've seen tonight. Martina had a good serve. She had a good, crisp first volley, and that's what this match has to happen for Martina. She's got to hit that first volley well.
And here you see the unforced errors, 20 between the two of them.
And almost no winners.
Martina going for the angle volley. Jimmy got just wide enough on that.
Was that a makeable volley, you think, then?
Yeah, I think it's makeable, Bobby. I think, obviously it's a tough one.
Makeable,
sure,
right?
it's a tough one, but Martina, she's got to not peek. She's got to sit there and look at that ball.
Yeah, she can't make everything, of course, but if she made that one, that would have been a big point.
Instead, we're back to deuce. Martina with a break in the first game of the match. That's the difference right now. That's one of Martina's best shots, and that one she just didn't hit.
I thought that would have been a good time for her to use her side spin serve in that whole extra alley over there. Instead, she hit it right straight back down long.
Second breakpoint chance now for Jimmy Connors. And now he's got Martina down to a second serve. See if Jimmy doesn't play an aggressive point here. Anything but.
Well, that was a lit ball. He was lucky there.
Yeah.
Another one?
Martina coming in behind that second serve, too.
Double faults. Martina with 3 and Jimmy with 2.
Martina with 4, and that comes at a tough time. It gets the break back, and this match, for all intent, is now dead even. Martina's going to have to gather herself. 3-all. And still nobody has really grabbed hold of this match. You don't have that feeling that anybody really has this match in hand by any stretch of the imagination.
No, there's no real pattern been set on Martina's serve, which is the key to this match. I think everybody's aware of that. Connors has the greatest return of serve in the game, and his own serve is no weapon, so Martina really does need to pick up this percentage on her first serve if she's to continue keeping it close.
And the Jimmy Connors with just 1 serve and Martina with 2, and Martina has more double faults than Jimmy Connors.
A lot of unforced errors we've talked about in the winners department. Jimmy's leading that 4-3.
That was an excellent serve by Jimmy Connors. Every now and then he'll crank it up.
He only has 1 great serving.
Yep.
Came in, knocked off the volley, had Martina drawn off the court that time. That's an excellent court by Jimmy Connors.
There's the other double fault, or in this case a single fault. Remember, Jimmy Connors has only one serve. Martina Navratilova has two. The other difference is Martina. And there's another fault for Jimmy Connors. That's something you won't see very often. Martina also has that extra foot and a half in either alley. So after playing a couple of brilliant points, it gives a couple back.
Great cross-court shot by Martina Navratilova.
Trying to get a couple of winners here.
Jimmy helps Martina an awful lot in this game, giving her 2 free points, missing a serve, and then Martina feeling she can go for the angle off the return.
Knocked it off. Martina just got a racket on it, but came up short. Connors showing a little bit of aggression here coming to the net.
Yeah, I think he's got to do that as well. He certainly knows that he can, and he volleys very well. He moves well, and Martina so far when Jimmy's been coming in has not really been using the angles well at all.
But it still seems like a sparring session here. I still don't see anybody really clutching it.
Almost like they're figuring each other out, trying to decide how to play this.
Well wide. She tried to use that alley that time. So Connors has held for 4-3.
Barry, I'm with former heavyweight champion George Foreman. George, are you a little surprised that the match is as close as it is?
Not at all. This girl is really strong. A lot of people underestimate her. She's really been producing. And there's not a whole lot of difference between the men and women tennis today. These are great athletes. They're lifting weight, eating their Wheaties and cheeseburgers. But Jimmy Connors don't. He's put on a good show, though.
I was listening to Barry. Barry was talking about this match so far as almost like a heavyweight sparring championship. I mean, the two are sparring out there. They're just kind of feeling each other out.
I mean, and they're putting up a good fight, too. And the most amazing thing about it, the audience, they're loving every drop of it. I love it. Can you believe that?
Absolutely. It's great. George, good seeing you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Barry, back to you.
All right, thanks. How do you like that shirt? Looks like George is wearing the drapes, doesn't he?
He was at the Astrodome when I played Billie Jean King, and he picked her. He picked the winner.
See that?
He says Navratilova should win this one.
See, George Foreman can get away with wearing a shirt like that. Who's going to tell him it's ugly?
I think you just did.
Saw the unforced errors, 22 of them. Overhead put away.
Approaches to the net for Martina have now, with that approach to the net, now makes 10. She's won 3 of 10 up there.
He's coming in all the time now. Started that at the end of the last service game, actually.
Maybe just finding a little bit more rhythm with the serve, a little better comfort level.
Jimmy's just not hitting out like he usually does. He played that very safe and missed it. He might as well hit out if he's going to miss the ball.
Well, you have the idea that if Martina keeps coming in as she has been, that he will start trying to do that now. Another double fault. That's 5.
That's what I mean. That's the kind of shot I'm looking for him to make.
That's Martina's best serve. This swinging lefty serve into the ad court, and taking it out to the Connors forehand. He's got to hit that up the line. You know, that's a percentage shot being taken out of the court there.
Martina came in again, knocked off the volley. Actually had Jimmy wrong-footed that time along the baseline.
Martina felt like her best serve, the swing one wide to the Connors forehand, was okay because everyone knows that Jimmy Connors' backhand is better than his forehand, especially off the return.
That is going to be long, and there again, that extra foot and a half means that Martina Navratilova is held for 4-all.
Good display of Martina's athleticism and wonderful hands picking up that half volley. And that's the thing that set her apart in women's tennis for so many years. Her ability to really be able to hit the half volley and hit the volley so well.
Great shot. Froze Jimmy Connors at the net. Cross court off the backhand side.
That has to give her a little boost of confidence because that's not a favorite shot of Martina's, the backhand topspin pass, and she can hit one of those. That'll give her a little bit of confidence when Jimmy starts to come in some.
Again, tried to use that extra foot and a half and hit it wide.
And Jimmy was funny. He says, you know, I've never played against a woman. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. I've never done this. This is going to be news to me too. And you know, it's really what's happening out here. He looks almost like a fish out of water.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, what strikes me, I'll throw this lob up, and you guys can hit it back if you like. But what strikes me is that Jimmy Connors is playing Martina Navratilova's game rather than the other way around. Nice get. Ball was out. Exactly the kind of point that Martina Navratilova has wanted to play. She wanted to run Jimmy Connors along the baseline, and that time she really did it.
Great point. Look how much of the court both players are using. Martina doing a good job of hitting into the corners, still keeping it pretty inside the singles line. You can see the pumped fist.
Another one of those important points early in this match for Martina Navratilova. Jimmy Connors with a big-time shot off the backhand side.
That's his two-handed forehand. He doesn't have the backhand.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Martina not doing very much with that serve. It's kicking up really well. It's a tough serve to handle. And you know, that's Jimmy just punished that ball, landed corner in the middle of the court.
Martina just a little bit tentative with that shot. One thing that Martina has done on the last couple of serves of Jimmy Connors is she is cheating in 2-3 feet inside the baseline. See if she does it again here. This to hold for 5-4 for Jimmy Connors. Seemed to have everything set up. He just forgot to hit the shot.
Yeah, he had the shot he wanted, and he just didn't execute.
She played that point well. She had it wide, deep, and all over. That alleys are really taking their toll.
Yeah, they're really starting to take effect. I think Martina is getting into a rhythm, and she's beginning to realize just how big even the singles court is, because many of her balls are really landing close to the singles line. And it's really moving Jimmy all over the place.
Deuce. Very uncharacteristic shot from Jimmy Connors. Out. Martina tried to play the line back to deuce. She had a chance. I'm sure Martina Navratilova would dearly love to take Jimmy Connors into a third set. Needless to say, she'd like to beat him in straight sets. Opportunity for Martina Navratilova.
Second break point in this game.
Martina's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, it's really starting to show now. She's playing. You can see it in the way she moves. Martina wears every emotion right there on the sleeve. You know what she's thinking. It's in her face. It's in the way you can just tell with their body language.
I'll tell you what else it shows. It shows in Jimmy Connors. When he knows he's got a match won, that's when he's really working the room. And right now, he's not working this room at all. He's trying to work Martina Navratilova, and it's not been easy. So once again, Martina can't get it. She had a tentative second shot. That's a line across.
Former player on the circuit.
Very good doubles player.
Very good. She and Linky Bishop had their share of some titles, and she's now heavily involved in World Team Tennis. In fact, she's, for all intents and purposes, helping Billie Jean to run it.
Just missed that
one. Both these players have played team tennis the last 2 years, so that helps them with this type of atmosphere. They're used to a lot of noise in between points, a lot of crowd interaction. In fact, Martina played for Atlanta, and they won it the last 2 years. Jimmy Connors this year won the singles competition. He was rookie of the year last year in World Team Tennis.
I like that. Team tennis owners here. Look at Martina come in on that serve. So Jimmy Connors holds off a couple of errant shots for Martina Navratilova. She had 2 break points in that game, but instead we remain on serve. Navratilova will be serving 4-5 first set. And Jimmy Connors on serve with Martina Navratilova. And look at the winners, and then, of course, compare that with the unforced errors, and that'll give you the story of this match.
Martina's got more unforced errors, 22-14. She's also got a couple more winners. Net points won. Martina's been there 12 times. Jimmy's been there 8 times, and they both won 5 points. So Jimmy's got a little better average, but Martina certainly has been in there a little bit more, and that's obviously the way she's got to play this. 4-5 serving. Martina's picked up her first percentages a little bit.
Great angle volley from Martina Navratilova. That's a shot she just loves.
Yeah, that's vintage Martina right there. This backhand volley of hers is probably the best in the game. It's been so successful. She has such tremendous control of the wrist and such power in that forearm and the wrist.
Martina coming in a lot more, and on occasion it does seem to be bothering Jimmy Connors a little bit.
Well, you know, the angles that Martina can play become much more effective the closer she can get to the net. So that, Jimmy knows that. I mean, he's playing with a little bit of worry.
And Martina right at the moment in the midst of an easy service game. Incidentally, her serve's between 82 and 90 miles an hour. It'll be interesting to compare that to Jimmy's. I haven't really looked at what Jimmy's serving it at, but I would suspect it's less than that.
Yeah, and Martina at her best is usually high 80s, even low 90s.
She got that one at 93, but it missed by about a foot. Another double fault, and Martina continuing to self-destruct here.
6 to a pretty good lead on all of her serves. That's been very helpful for her. 35, 45, 40, 30, 40 love.
Now 57%, and that is an improvement. Remember the last time I showed you that graphic was at 44%. Now she was very long with that first serve. Yes. Almost made it too fine, though, I'll tell you that.
Martina just sort of wiping off the brow. Martina's overhead is one of the safest shots I think she owns. I have played against Martina. I've watched her play all these years. I can't remember seeing her missing an overhead. Missed one earlier tonight. And that one was just a little shaky then.
So 5
These
all.
overheads are big now.
Yeah, that's right. Great shot, and there again, that extra foot and a half coming into play. And really, the big difference in the match, in all honesty, has been the one serve of Jimmy Connors. He's given Martina some cheap points, and she's made some big points along that extra little alley. Great get. Great stop volley. You know, it's interesting. We've been trying to figure out who the crowd favorite is here, and I don't really think there is anybody. I think the crowd favorite is points like that.
Exactly. I think it's pretty even. I mean, when Martina plays a point like this, half the crowd's loving it.
I don't think there's anything adversarial. I don't get that sense here. I just get the sense that people want to see a close match and a good match. That's basically what you're seeing is a close match. It may not be exactly a symphony. Tried to bring it outside in and couldn't do it.
See a little deep breathing going on there. They're having to breathe in some more oxygen. We mentioned we're in a little bit of altitude.
It's tough here, and it's very dry and very dusty.
And it's warm. You can see a lot of perspiration on both players, especially Jimmy. He tends to perspire more than Martina anyway. Well, 9 attempts now to the net for Jimmy, and 6 of them have been successful. So that's obviously going to be a telling thing for Jimmy, and he's got to pay attention to that. He's been pretty successful when he's come in.
good shot then, Barry. Beautiful shot. Jimmy had to have a perfect answer for it.
So he has this to hold for 6-5 now, and that really does put the onus on Martina Navratilova's service game. She's the one that's playing catch-up all the time here.
Great shot to hold for 6-5.
So look at Martina Navratilova. She's really into the rhythm of this match. I think we could forget all about somebody psyching somebody. That's not going to happen.
No, I think not. And I do think a real important element mentally has been the fact that Martina's been able to have Craig Carden down there sitting with her. Craig Carden has been coaching Martina for the last 4 years, and he's far more than a coach to Martina. He's like a brother. I mean, he genuinely cares for her, and they have a wonderful relationship. Net points won. Martina's been in there 18 times, won half of them.
Won half of them, and there was a time she had won only 1 of 8.
Exactly.
So you can see that she has improved her net play in the last half of this first set. Call the fault close. There's the story of this one. Navratilova serving 5-6 first set. $500,000 to the winner, plus a little pittance just for showing. You almost want to see a tie break now.
Definitely.
Move. Cross-court winner from Jimmy Connors.
That's a great angle. Martina hit a pretty good volley. She actually uses the alley. You see it lands right in the middle of her added space, and Jimmy gets a great angle on the pass.
Martina that time just didn't hit the volley. She was there.
Of the 10 times Martina's gone into the alley, she's won 6 of those points.
Now for the first set for Jimmy Connors. And this will really test the mettle of Martina.
It really will. Martina is just still slightly hesitant to get in there with a quick first step, and now Jimmy's pouncing on it a little quicker. He's one step quicker hitting the ball, hitting the pass actually. He's taking it on the rise, and this sets up not only a double break point, but a double set point.
Well let, but very close, and still a set point.
Good German serve. That's been pretty effective.
Played it safe again instead of going for a good, fluent, hard two-hander like he usually does. Knocked it out.
Let's see how Jimmy plays this one.
Is she going to come in on the second serve now, Betsy?
No, I don't think at this point.
And a double fault for the first set. Couldn't have ended any worse for Martina Navratilova. Her 7th of the set, and this one really cost her.
There have been a couple of double faults at some key points in this match. None greater than that one right there. And, you know, that smack of the racket really tells it all.
Now I think Jimmy Connors will work the room. It'll be interesting to see how he works the crowd here, because this is the point where he really does start to do that. And just as it was important for Martina Navratilova to get out well in the first set, it's now important for Jimmy Connors to get out well in the second. That was wide. Remember, he doesn't have that alley.
Well, Martina broke out into a 2-love lead with the alleys and one serve. That's a pretty good lead, see?
That's right.
He can't afford to give her anything.
Cross court once again, got just enough of it at the feet of Martina Navratilova.
To me, it looks like Jimmy's just that little bit closer to the ball to hit the pass. He's just hitting it cleaner now. He's got a little more pace on it.
Does it also seem like he's picked the tempo up a little bit here?
Jimmy Connors. Just a terrific point.
He was all over the court, and Martina just had him every single place on the court. And I'm not sure the choice of shots here was the right one. Martina, you know, she knew she had to get in. She has him way off the court here. Martina plays a good shot. Actually, to get back into this point. Now this little drop volley, I think Martina would have been wise to have just hit him backhand.
Whose idea was this? Yes, she could have put it
Give herself a volley. Yeah.
Anywhere.
Vitas Gerulaitis, of course, will play a part of this act. A little bit of concern showing on the face of Martina Navratilova right now.
I took a lot out of Jimmy that point.
I think Martina can sense that Jimmy's starting to play better.
Martina just making an uncharacteristic amount of mistakes.
They both have done that, Barry.
That's true. Talked about the speed that Jimmy Connors hitting his serve. The last one was 77.
He has to be very careful. Every time he serves, he's got to concentrate and get this. I thought that was out. She may wear him down. He may get too tired in this match.
Well, I think he would dearly like to get it over with in this set. I don't think there's any question about that.
Well, we know Jimmy's in good shape. We know he can play 5 sets. He showed us that. And in fact, he said that he can still play with the boys. He beat Wayne Ferreira earlier this year, ranked 10 in the world.
And Martina talking to herself, in fact, yelling at herself here. All right, let's go courtside now to Jim Hill. Jimmy.
You better not put on what I said before.
Okay, Patty, a little nervous. Are you feeling a little more at ease now?
Yes, I'm feeling much more at ease. The first set's over with. Well, you know, it's really hard when you play men your whole life. You don't want to slam the ball at a girl. You got to be a little gentlemanly, but he has to remember when he's on the court, who's ever on the other side is not his friend, it's an enemy until the match is over.
But Martina jumped out to a 2-game-to-love lead.
What does she have to lose? Women aren't expected to beat men, and she has everything to win. She has nothing to lose.
Except the $500,000.
True. True.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Barry, back to you.
Thanks, Jim. There is that. There is that.
Well, it's a point well taken. Martina really does have far less to lose. She has really nothing to lose out here, and Patty's right. And Jimmy's got a lot more to lose. And as Martina put it, really they're both in a win-win situation. This is great for the sport of tennis. More people are watching it than might normally tune in, and it's aroused an awful lot of interest. And as Martina says, the curiosity level is immeasurable among the people.
just hasn't got off to a good start on her serve.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't played too many good games against her serve. He won that last one when she served double fault. Not his good play.
I think the point is Martina has shown that she can be competitive. She's just not playing vintage Martina tennis right now. I think the first set was there to be had.
I think you're right, Barry.
And there again, that's a shot. I realize difficult shot at your shoe tops, but it's a shot that Martina will make more than she'll miss. And the other thing that strikes me, and I may be wrong about this too, but why not? I'll throw it out there. It seems that Martina is playing to Jimmy Connors' tempo now, and he tried to pick the tempo up. She looks to me like she's rushing it a little bit.
She can't afford to make those kind of easy mistakes, Barry.
That's Henry Gluck, of course, the chairman of the board of Caesars World. You heard him speaking with Jim Hill just a little while ago. Jimmy Connors waited just long enough to get Martina Navratilova to commit.
Jimmy had a great return. Martina had to make a good stretch just to get to the volley, and sort of froze Martina, and then waited till she committed and made the pass. Still a break point.
Errors in this match.
An inordinate number of errors, and I think it's because the atmosphere is so different.
I think that's right, Barry. It's difficult up here in this high altitude.
Break chances.
She hasn't had that many.
No.
Couldn't get it done again.
Jimmy made a good approach shot there, pretty deep, and she had to go for it, and she didn't make it well.
So now Connors clearly in the driver's seat.
Last time, in the first set, he was serving at love two instead of to love, then now serving. Big difference.
Big difference. Hour and 3 minutes, as you see so far in this match.
You very seldom see Connors miss that kind of a stiff overhead that he hits. He very, very seldom ever. That was such a good lob, he couldn't handle it.
Yeah, he's very good at that shot. He rarely hits a normal overhead. He always sidearms it, and he's very consistent with it.
That was just too good a lob. Getting everything.
Connors again.
That shot right there is a shot that he's missed all throughout his career. The approach shot off the forehand side.
Martina tactically is playing, you know, obviously aware of that. She knows that, and she's, I think, quite capable of not hitting an awful lot of pace, and Jimmy thrives on pace.
I think this is a huge point for her. And I do believe if she can get a break back here, she can get herself back in this.
Oh, yes, she's not out of this yet.
And she couldn't hit the cross-court shot. You know, so often tennis comes down to who plays the big points best, and the simple fact is Jimmy Connors has played the big points better than Martina.
Yes, and it's really this side right here, the forehand side, that's let Martina down on the big points. She let that ball drop awfully low. She's had a couple of key points, and it's the forehand side that's let her down.
This place all dressed up for this event tonight. So from love 30 to 30 all.
Keep calling them, will you? Keep calling them. How hard they're hitting the ball. When I was down there watching them earlier play, it seemed like they were hitting the ball a ton. Up here, it doesn't seem like they're hitting them very hard.
Yeah, I think it's two things. Just a quick look at the unforced errors. Martina still many more than Jimmy with 31 to 20. Awful lot of unforced errors from these two players in a set in 2 games.
Martina got the sitter. So here's a chance for Martina Navratilova at a very critical point in this match.
You're right. She got a little bit lucky. The ball hit the net. The ball sat up for a little bit, and she was able to get some pretty good angle on that again with topspin. So a much-needed break point for Martina to get back into the second set. Down an early break.
So Martina Navratilova gets the break back at a very crucial point. I think there was a real danger of things really coming apart if Jimmy Connors came back and took a 3-zip lead. See the setting here at Caesars Palace, 14,000 seat arena. The tomorrow night, incidentally, championship fight, not in this arena, but in the indoor arena right next door. Terry Norris fighting again, and we got a championship fight going right here too, back on serve. No place to go for Martina, and Jimmy Connors puts it away.
Jimmy's returned well when Martina's come in. He's dropping the ball at her feet and right up the middle of the court, making it doubly hard for Martina to get an angle off of a half volley.
So Martina Navratilova, who's served from time to time tonight, has deserted her at 15 all and 1-2, and love won in sets. Martina might have been saying the ball was in. It looked in. In, Jimmy Connors hits that shot as well as anybody.
He says that's Bobby, holding the ring right there. Come out, please, anytime.
Okay.
This is a couple times tonight. Martina has had to hit an awfully good overhead from an awfully high lob. She likes to let it bounce. She has to. It's that deep. She uses that extra space awfully well. Extra court advantage. Time used 12, and Martina's won 7 of those 12 times. 7 of those 12 points.
So she'll have this to hold for 2 all now.
Jimmy Connors. Martina Navratilova is held.
Well, Martina's right back in this match.
Got herself right back into it. Very crucial game, not this game, but the game before, to get the break back. And Jimmy Connors now serves with new tennis balls. Once again, a reminder of the rules in this match. Jimmy Connors only gets one serve, and then there's that extra foot and a half. Half the doubles alley is what it really amounts to on either side that Martina Navratilova has and has used to good advantage. And that time Jimmy Connors took nothing off that serve. A kick serve, nothing Martina could do about it. Connors, for the most part, has just been trying to serve into the middle of the service box, but every once in a while, he'll just crank it up as he did there. Not a lot of speed on it, but it's just got so much movement.
It really does move, and that's his only ace tonight. And a couple of faults, he's up to 4 points he's lost with his serve. He only gets 1.
And remember, 2 of them were back-to-back.
Right.
Jimmy got to the net very nicely there and made a forceful volley, and Martina couldn't handle it.
I put him away.
And there's another fault. .430 all. It's the 5th fault. Can't call it a double fault. He only gets 1.
Shot that time, Barry, right down the line. Martina couldn't get over there to cover it.
So Jimmy Connors will have this. Take another look at this approach shot. Pretty as can be.
Perfect balance, doesn't he? He gets down well, hits the ball out in front of him perfectly.
Attaboy. So Jimmy Connors holds and holds rather easily, and we remain on serve in the second set. Jimmy Connors having won the first set 7-5, and he won it on double fault by Martina Navratilova. Just to give you an idea of exactly what has transpired so far, Jimmy Connors won the first set 7-5. In all honesty, it was not very pretty, not wonderful tennis, a lot of unforced errors. The set point when Martina Navratilova came up with a double fault, she had 6 in that first set, and the 6th one cost her dearly. In the second set, we have had a couple of service breaks. Caliber of play has picked up, but again, we're in that situation where nobody has really taken charge of the match once again. Just when it looked like Jimmy Connors was going to, Martina Navratilova got a break back, and that's where we are right now. On serve, second set, 1 set to love for Jimmy Connors. The winner gets $500,000 over and above an appearance fee just for being here. Not a bad night's work.
This is a very big point.
There's the numbers we were talking about before. Navratilova serving at a higher rate of speed than Jimmy Connors, but then Jimmy Connors only gets 1, and his concern is get it in. Another double fault. Number 8.
Jimmy doesn't do very much with her serve. I thought he would be more effective on the return of serve than he has been. You've got to give Martina a lot of credit. She's playing Jimmy right to a standstill, boy.
Yeah, it's more Martina that's beating Martina than it is Jimmy who's beating Martina. There's a great shot.
Unbelievable shot there, Barry. That's how quick Connors is. No girl would ever have got that.
Ooh, easy. Whoa.
All this was set up right here by the good return of serve. Martina makes a good half volley, but it's up the middle, and Jimmy is able to create an amazing angle and drop it short just over the net, forcing Martina to play another half volley. Martina's struggling now with the extra. That was just a quick glimpse of the extra court advantage.
Cross-court winner for Jimmy Connors.
That gives Jimmy another break.
Carolitis is up there with you now. Don't let up.
Don't let up. That was one that Jimmy went out and won. Martina didn't lose that one.
Jimmy's returning awfully well. Martina knows she has to serve and try to get in behind it, but that doesn't mean she necessarily has to come in right after the serve. A good play would really be for Martina to mix it up a little bit more, serve and stay back, but come in on the very next shot, because Jimmy's playing the return so well, making Martina have to hit an awful lot of half volleys. A tough shot.
Jimmy, I'm sure, is going to play this service game cozy. So is Martina.
Oh, came in at the right time.
That was a well-played point, Barry. Backhand to backhand to backhand. Connors got the short ball, came in and made a severe volley and won the point.
There's another look at it, Betts.
Martina doing an awful lot of running in this point. In fact, Jimmy's being a bit more aggressive. You can see Martina's played a lot of the match on the baseline, well inside the baseline. Last couple of points, Martina's been forced up back behind the baseline. That's not a position Martina can play in.
That was one of Jimmy's game plans. He wanted to keep Martina back of the baseline. He really hadn't been able to do that too much until now.
Exactly. I mean, and that's, you know, Martina deserves some credit for that.
Ball was wide. So many times after a service break, you'll see the server be broken himself, and that's why I suggested that Jimmy Connors might play this a little cozy. No margin of error, of course, for him with just having the one serve.
With this handicap, Jimmy just can't let up for a second. He has no breathing room at all.
Great shot by Martina Navratilova.
Jimmy had a good approach here. He came in, comes in on this next shot. Good time to come in. Martina's well off the court. Doesn't get much pace on this, and Martina, just with her good hands, flicks this ball with a little bit of slice behind Jimmy. He was looking for something cross court, but it's been a real tough shot for Martina to play that one cross court.
Connors with a great approach shot. Nothing Martina could do. The ball never came up.
Good. Beautiful placement on Jim there.
Yeah, just excellent footwork.
Well, he knows he's been in a battle, Barry.
That's true.
He's still right in the thick of it. She's right in the fight.
It's real important for her to get a service break here, though, if she really is going to be in the thick of the fight. Ball was called wide.
He had an option there. He could have gone either way. I think if he'd gone down the line there, I don't think she could have got over for it.
It's another very big point for Martina. Needless to say, for Martina Navratilova to get a break back here. Connors came right in off that serve. Took the chance, put it away.
Now this is what Martina doesn't like, for Jimmy to take the towel and walk around between points. She says they let him do that at the Open, and I hope they don't let him do it here, but he's not doing as much here as he does at the Open.
Back to deuce. Navratilova.
76-mile-per-hour serve.
It's about the norm for Jimmy in this game.
Right.
That's not bad for a second serve.
See if he comes in behind this as he did the last time. There he is.
Martina is really fast for her. She can cover the court. What an athlete.
But Jimmy Connors playing aggressive points on the big points now.
Yeah, he's starting to really come in immediately behind his serve and, you know, and sort of doing to Martina what she's been trying to do to him. And Jimmy's been very successful all night long when he's come in.
Interesting, you heard David Hasselhoff talk about he'd like to see a little bit more of this, and I think based on what we've seen tonight, it has been competitive. We might see a little bit more of this.
Yeah, I think there's no question that it's ignited a terrible amount of interest, and there's going to be more of it.
So now Connors with a point to hold.
It's a crucial point of the match now for Connors. He would love to have a 5-2 lead.
He had 2 break points against him in this game, and now he's got a game point.
That's out, and Jimmy Connors is held after having a couple of break points against him. So he will carry a break in hand. Martina Navratilova now has to think about first things first. And the first thing, of course, is going to be for her to hold. Then she has to worry about breaking.
Every female playing tennis today needs to really thank Billie Jean. What she did for us, we really owe her an awful lot of credit. Plus, she's just a fantastic student of the game, loves tennis. She was telling us in the days that, you know, they used to play and they used to travel together, the men and the women, and talk tennis and eat tennis and coach each other and help each other. And that's not the way it works today.
Now it's 50 players, 50 limos. Navratilova hit a ball that was good in that little alley, and I think something in her own mind said, that's not good, and then suddenly she said, yes, it is, and then she came to the net behind it.
And she used her good overhead again, that bounced overhead, and with a slice on it, and which is too tough for Jimmy to cover. There's not too big an advantage in either one of them serving. There's been quite a few breaks. Now, there was a makeable volley that she shouldn't miss. That's what Billie Jean was talking about. She's losing it. Jimmy's not winning it.
I think that's right.
But I'd like to have the pomade concession tonight. A lot of that, huh? Very short. Very short. See what I mean? As we said, first things first, and the first thing for Martina Navratilova is to worry about her own serve. Jimmy Connors now just 2 points from winning this match.
You know, this is the mark of a great champion like Jimmy. Martina's a great champion too, but from the man's point of view, he has not played a great match, but he's still in commanding position now.
Let's see what he does on this point. Remember what Billie Jean King said about him playing aggressive. Well, no chance to worry about that.
He played it very safe again, and he'd been better off to hit out. I can't understand why he isn't going for more, bigger, more aggressive shots. I guess if you were playing for 500,000, you'd be a little careful.
I'd be
too,
tentative.
Barry. Butterflies are flying all around.
Well, here's a match point now for Jimmy Connors. And I have to feel that Jimmy will really try to win this point, and I mean that in a literal sense.
No question about it. Maybe he'll go for a shot here.
I would think.
Jimmy Connors in straight sets. It wasn't easy and it wasn't pretty, but neither player has to hang his or her head, I don't think.
Jimmy Connors remporte donc $500 000. Et oui, les congratulations de Vitas Gerulaitis qui était son coach ce soir. Que pourra-t-on dire de cette rencontre? Eh bien, peut-être que tactiquement, Martina Navratilova a essayé de s'enfermer dans une tactique qu'elle s'était fixée. Elle savait qu'il ne fallait pas donner de poids à Jimmy Connors dans sa balle. Il fallait essayer de lui donner des balles basses. Elle a peut-être été obnubilée par cette tactique au point de ne pas se servir suffisamment des couloirs, des demi-couloirs de double qu'elle possédait de part et d'autre comme avantage. Elle n'a pas pu attaquer comme elle le souhaitait la balle de Connors. Et alors que les deux joueurs, le joueur et la joueuse, sont à peu près dans leur catégorie, dans leur tableau, dans leur championnat masculin et féminin au même niveau aujourd'hui, eh bien Jimmy Connors a prouvé que ce règlement, une balle de service plus deux demi-couloirs, ne suffisait pas pour qu'une femme puisse inquiéter un homme. Vitas Gerulaitis sortira confiant de ses remarques, lui qui pense qu'aucune femme joueuse de tennis n'est capable de battre les 100 premiers joueurs mondiaux. Voilà, on va se quitter sur cette image du cours de Las Vegas et sur un chèque qui sera remis à Jimmy Connors, donc de $500 000. Et on se retrouve ce soir pour la boxe, donc dans la nuit, avec Terry Norris face à Simon Brown, championnat du monde des super welter, avec Jean-Claude Boutier à cette nuit, rediffusion demain matin, demain après-midi à 16h30. Au revoir.